What's good, YouTube family? It's your boy Jamal with Leveled Up Credit Services, where my goal is always to help us live a debt-free, interest-free lifestyle through education and leveraging our credit. Today, I wanted to talk about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart because we see a lot of folks on the internet and gurus and all this talking about this very great this elusive topic of manufactured spending, right? And you hear a lot of different things about it. You hear people saying don't do it. It's gonna have all these issues and it just looks super shady, right? On the other hand, you got other people that are like, yeah, you can do it. If you got $250,000 worth of credit, you can get 2 to 3% of that back every single month. And they sensationalize it, right? I saw one video where a dude was saying how you can go get $1,000 gift cards in something like swiping $100,000 in a month to get $3,000 back for free, right? And there were some things even with that. Like for one, you can't go to a store and buy $1,000 gift card. Like they don't sell $1,000 gift cards. So that was just cap. But anyway, let me, before I get into it, right? Before I get into this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so I can keep bringing you this financial education where we combine financial literacy, budgeting, and credit. Because again, we out here getting debt free, we living interest free, all right, by any means necessary, all right? So manufactured spending, what is it? It is essentially the art of maximizing your points, rewards, and cash back on your credit cards. That's really what it is, right? And to do that, you're essentially going to make it look like you're spending money, but you're not really spending money. The end goal is to spend money to make some more money, right? You're doing manufactured spending wrong if you are losing money in the process. Now, and this is something that I had to learn myself because when learning how to do it, I was losing a lot of time and money. And people don't tell you this. They even sensationalize and say, oh, it's scammy, it's a gray area, right? Or they'll say the opposite and say it's a wonderful thing, you're getting free money and all this stuff, right? And we all know no money is literally free. It's always some kind of cost. It's going to take some time and it still take a little bit of money, right? So the most common method that everyone, if you just type up manufactured spending, this is even on TikTok, they say go buy a gift card and then go buy a money order and then deposit the money order into your bank account, pay off the credit card. So let me say it again. You're going to go buy a gift card with one of your credit cards, right? Then once you buy that gift card, you're going to use the gift card to go buy a money order. Then you're going to take that money order, put it into your bank account, right? And put that money order, once it's in your bank account, you're going to pay off your credit card. So it's a nice, smooth, easy process. I'll tell you this, there's absolutely nothing illegal about that process, okay? As long as you are using your credit card to buy a legit gift card, to buy a legit money order, to put it into a legit bank account that's owned by you, to pay off a credit card that's owned by you, there's absolutely nothing illegal about that, right? Nothing at all. Now, this is what happens. If you don't know, what happens is that some companies don't like it when you do manufactured spending because for them, it looks like you're gaming the system because you're able to accrue a lot of points without necessarily spending a lot of money, right? So American Express is one of those companies, right? So for instance, with like your American Express personal gold card and the American Express Everyday Preferred, you can get 3 or 4% back when you make purchases at the grocery store. So a lot of people will go and they make a bunch of purchases at a grocery store using these cards, and they get 3 to 4% back. That is amazing. And then they go buy the money order, deposit, pay off the card, right? Well, guess what? American Express doesn't like when you do that, so they can and will either restrict your account or shut you down altogether. So that is something that you need to be aware of. You have to be aware of the different banks and how they treat manufacturer spending when you do it. Then you have other card companies that don't really care, right? Because they don't necessarily give you those really big multipliers, as we call them, when you're doing manufacturer spending, okay? And then you have some cards that are just known to be great for manufacturer spending, right? And some cards give you 5% back when you make purchases at like office supply stores, okay? And that can be a pretty profitable endeavor if you're getting 5% back, because normally the cost of the gift card, the cost of the money order don't always equate to 5% of whatever it is that you're spending. But you want to keep that in mind. The cost that you're incurring is that of the gift card, right? Gift cards can be anywhere from $4 to $7. And the cost of money order. Money orders can range anywhere from 46 cents. Some go as high as $2, right? And that overall cost can vary based on how much you're trying to manufacture spend. Okay, so those are some things that people don't talk about, the cost, right? So it's not always for free. It's really more about being profitable at the end of the entire transaction. Another thing they don't tell you is that, if you're depositing like 10, 20, $30,000 in money orders into one bank account on a regular basis, that looks kind of scammy. They are going to probably shut you down or even restrict your account. My accounts have been restricted from putting too many money orders in at one time, right? So I'm speaking from experience. And so the thing is, you want to have a lot of different banking accounts, okay, so that you can spread these things out. And also keep in mind that by law, banks, when you're making a certain amount of deposits, banks have to report that. So they don't tell you this. There are tax implications to manufacturer spending. If you're doing a lot of it, like I actually read a article where this gentleman, he was an engineer. In 1 year, this man was able to manufacture spend $6.2 million. $6.2 million in one calendar year. In that 1 year, he earned over $300,000 in cashback rewards. That is amazing. This dude is like the GOAT. He made so much money that the IRS decided, oh, nah, we're going to have to come in and get some of that. Like, you're not about to be out here making $300,000 for free? Nah. So when I say for free, people may not know this, but cashback points, cashback rewards aren't considered income. Because they're considered a rebate, because you have to make a purchase in order to receive them. So it's not considered income because you actually have to buy something in order to get it, right? And oftentimes the average credit card is only given between 1% and 5%. So the average person, when you're spending, 1 to 5% isn't anything the average person is going to live off of, right? That's why a lot of times when you're manufacturer spending, you're doing it to get points and rewards for travel, because those points and rewards can be redeemed at various values to enhance your experience, right? So most people, you want to get at least 1 cent per point Whereas when you learn how to transfer your points to the right partners and things of that nature, you can get more than 1 cent. You can get 1.2, 1.5. Even some people are able to get over 3 cents per point when they do these transfers, right? But that's why is cashback and these points aren't considered taxable income, because you have to make purchases in order to receive them anyway. So it's more like a rebate, you know. But going back to the story, he made over $300,000 in cash back. Made so much money in cash back that the IRS stepped in and was like, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and tax that. We're gonna need that 33%. Come on up off that Playboy. Go ahead, come on, give us that right there, right?" So that's something else to keep in mind. There will be and can be some tax implications if you decide to manufacture spend a large sum. Okay. Another thing they don't tell you is that manufactured spending works best when you have a lot of credit available. Okay, because remember, we still want to protect our credit score during this process. So even while you're doing this, you don't want to max out your card trying to manufacture spend, because when you max out your card, what's going to happen? Your score is going to drop. If you do this wrong, if you're not keeping track of your due dates, if you're not keeping track of your statement dates, you can destroy your credit score, right? And y'all already know the brand, Leveled Up Credit Services, baby. We don't mess up our credit score for nobody and for nothing. Nothing out here, right? So you're doing this with your personal credit cards. You always got to be aware of your due dates and your statement dates when you're doing this, okay? And that way you don't tank your score. You always want to make sure that you're still only showing that you're using no more than 30% of your available credit. Don't max out your credit cards trying to manufacture spend and then your score tanks. What's going to happen when your score tanks? You're going to start getting denials. Other credit cards who gave you high limits are going to slash your limits, right? Just because they see that you're running up your credit cards and you're not paying them off. So they will cut your limit, okay? Which is going to impact your credit usage, which is going to drop your score. Remember, credit usage is 30% of your credit score, right? So what else do people not tell you? As far as like when I guess you can really do a lot with manufactured spending, I would say it's probably like when you're at least $150,000. You have at least $150,000 in available credit that you can use for manufactured spending. That's really when it's worthwhile to you, because like the gurus say, if you're getting 1 to 5% of 150,000, I mean that's not too bad as cash back, right? Or points. If you want to travel, that's not a bad thing at all, right? Or last but not least, when you manufacture spending, again, like I said, protecting your credit. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you can't pay off your credit cards. You never want to do that. So a lot of people, they always say, first and foremost, don't spend more that you can handle. Don't spend more than, if you can't pay it off, don't spend it, right? If you don't already have a plan to wipe out that debt every single month, don't even attempt to try and do manufactured spending, because again, you can lock up your credit cards. You can get your limits cut. You can get your bank accounts frozen and or closed, so that those money orders that you deposited and you thought for sure they were going to clear and you'll be able to just pay off the credit card, that may not always be the case, right? Some banks, they'll hold your money orders for 2 weeks. They'll hold your money orders for 7 business days. And if your due date is coming up, you may miss your due date because you have so much money tied up in these pending transactions that you missed the due date. You missed the due date, now you got a late payment on your credit report. Now you got to talk to somebody like me that can also help you remove that late payment, right? Or even worse, your statement date is coming up. and you're not able to pay the card off before the statement date. That's going to mess up your credit score. So these are some things that you really want to take into consideration when we're talking about, or you listen to these messages about manufactured spending. You have to know exactly what you're doing, how you want to do it, even why are you, what's the point for you to do it? Are you just doing it just to do it? Do you actually want to use the points and miles to travel? Do you want to just build up a bunch of cash back, almost like a savings account, and if something happens, boom, I got all these points that I can just cash out whenever I feel like? Like, why are you doing it? Okay? So keep these things in mind. Let me know what your experience with manufactured spending has been. Are you aware of it? Do you know what it is? Have you tried it? Have you not tried it? Do you think it's a scam? Have you done it and you absolutely love it and it's one of your favorite ways to collect points and to travel for free? Let me know in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. All right. In the meantime, I'll talk to y'all later. Be blessed. Have a great one.